Francie and I are at the junkyard. She's all bundled up because she's freezing. Last night, the Integra sedan unfortunately had an alternator failure, which left her stranded in an intersection. So today we're at the junkyard to see if there's an Integra in here or a CRV, because that's a CRV motor, to get another alternator. Whoa, this is not an Integra or a CRV, but an Acura wagon. Damn. Never see these, let alone in a junkyard. Look at all this cargo space in these. Jeez. This is a work truck and a half.
I'd totally get one of these.
Right? This would be a great road trip car too.
Yeah, right? Isn't that it?
You see it? Oh, it looks like it. I see the bug eyes.
Right?
Hey. Whoa, this one's rusty. I've never seen the doors rust out this bad. Oh my god. Tints? Dude, we should just take these windows. They're like black.
For real.
Black interior? What?
I've never seen leather interior on a tag before.
I'm not really a fan of it, but it is very nice actually. It's not torn. Oh, that one's torn. Oh, wood grain. This is actually a rare option.
That's cool. Actually, that's really cool.
Good e-brake. Good armrest. Oh man, they filled this up with foam. Honestly, the skirts are good too. Forgot about that. Sedan skirts are hard to find these days. Trunk interior? Should we grab this actually?
Do we need it?
Yeah, we don't have it in ours.
It looks pretty gross though.
Yeah, it does. It can be vacuumed up though. We don't have this piece either. It's plastic trim. Mud flaps. This thing has all kinds of goodies on it. Looks like it even has newer shocks. This was definitely someone's like daily driver, like a normie person. Yeah. New brake pads too. Man, these door cards are nice. Oh, and it has good trim. What?
Wow.
Isn't that immaculate?
That's so nice. Our trim could never.
No, it could not. Well, it has a complete V18 in it, but unfortunately this is a 95 model and the sedan has a V20 in it, which is an OBD2 car, which means that the alternator is different. It needs to have an alternator from a 98 to 01 Integra. So this one is unfortunately not going to work for us, but we could still grab plenty of parts off of this car to use on the sedan. Oh, I just realized it has the OEM sedan wing. I've actually never seen one of these.
Wow. I like it actually.
Right? It's got a nice little third brake light too. LED strip. Just over 200,000 miles on her. She put in her time. I know we needed to grab an alternator, but I'm not going to pass up black interior for a sedan when I see it. So we're just grabbing some little trim pieces that I am missing from my sedan. Or I guess our sedan. Got some rear interior. Now I need to grab the window switch because sometimes the windows don't work on the sedan. Actually, the only window that really works on our car is the driver front. So hopefully this switch fixes it. Ooh, those are dirty. Probably grab this cap too. So I think mine is tan. I don't remember. There we go.
How does this part come out?
Yeah, you push down and then pull it out. Nice. Well, we got a decent amount of parts off, but unfortunately we are on a time crunch, so we need to go grab that alternator before this yard closes. But if this thing is still here in the next few days, I'm definitely going to come back and grab some more parts, especially that carpet. The carpet looks really nice in here. All the goodies. Oh, there's a CRV. Looks like there's no motor in it though. No way! No way!
Wow, we got lucky.
Holy crap! Am I not gonna have to pull this off? Is this a dream come true? If you have a B series, you know how hard these are to get off. Although I don't know if I want to run this because it doesn't sound the greatest.
It's a little rusty.
It is an OEM one, so that's a good sign. You know what? We're gonna grab this just in case we can't find another one. But I'm glad that this is already removed. That was the fastest alternator pull of all time. Another tag? Actually, I think I've seen this one here before. It's a yellow, highlighter yellow.
Hideous color.
It's Type R, bro. Oh my gosh, this is something else. Whoa, someone took all the tan out. I wonder if they took the body harness. Yep, looks like it. You can see the ground through the rockers. This thing's been run through. You see any CRVs down that way?
I don't think so.
It's alright, I'm sure there's more. No. Interesting Mercedes. Oh, we got a racing steering wheel though. Racing. This is cool looking print. I like that actually. Whoa, I thought this was a 4-door. It's not.
This car's pretty cool actually.
Look how much space is back there. It's a roomy 2-door. Another 4Runner. This is a nice color. It's so bright. Whoa. What happened here? This thing is burned. The engine's just being held up by metal. But why? There's an SUV section. Maybe we can go over there. Yeah. I feel like that's mostly minivans. Our cart is in view, so we don't have to worry about that. Well, this aisle is not looking too promising. It's mostly just bigger SUVs. I think that was really the only CRV in there, the one that we came across. We can go check those farther aisles because we didn't go all the way back yet, you know?
Yeah. I don't know about that alternator.
Yeah, that thing was a little crusty. Yo, how did that get up there? I think so. Interesting. I have to say, I'm impressed. Never thought I'd see a transmission in a sunroof. Hey, another one? Dang, they took the engine. But wait, this is a new generation. I don't think we're looking for this gen. I just realized. This is the K-Series model. I think this is the last aisle because it turns into trucks. Unfortunately, we could not find any other CRVs. So we are gonna grab this alternator that we did find, bring it to a parts store and get it tested. It's only $30 for this alternator, plus it's OEM, which I'd prefer over aftermarket. Once we get it tested, we'll get a better idea of if it's actually making noise or if that'll just go away when it starts to move. A little over $50 later, and we have everything that we need. Maybe we'll go back for some more a different time. But let's load up and see if this alternator even works. We ended up going to 2 different places to get the alternator tested. The first place, the tester didn't even work, so we went to another place and they tested it and it said fail, so I was gonna buy a new one. They pull out the new one from the shelf. I'm like, can we test this one? We go and test it and it says fail. So now I'm like, I'm just gonna take mine and put it on the car and see if it works. What do you think?
Well, we'll find out, I guess.
It's $30 for the Junkyard one, and it's $230 for the aftermarket one. A lot of the times the alternator lower bolt is seized on these, so I'm hoping that's not the case because it's covered in oil. After many finagling.
take.
After some finagling, we finally got this alternator wiggled all the way down. We had to take off this subframe brace to get it out this far because, yeah, this is the only place where this alternator can clear to come out. It will not even get close coming out the top because of the intake manifold. But we got it, and look at how gunked up this thing is. It is covered in oil, but at least it wasn't seized in there. I would much rather have it be gunked up with oil than me having to beat it out. We've got the old one and the new Junkyard one next to each other. And I'm just verifying that these pulleys are the same size because I couldn't remember if I used a B18 alternator when I was building this swap for the car. But it looks like they're the same pulley size regardless. Hopefully we can get this guy in there shortly and see if it works or not. I've got the new alternator fully bolted up, plugged in, and the belt is tensioned. Now we are going to test start the car and hope that everything is good to go. Let's see. Hey, no battery light. It works. And just like with any other repair, test drive after. Can't forget to write it down in the maintenance log as well. Date, mileage, what you did. There's a couple things I wanted to mention about this whole alternator fiasco. The reason it's so oily is because last summer the power steering line started leaking and it dripped directly onto the alternator. Kind of had a feeling this was going to happen eventually because once oil gets in there, it never really works the same. But luckily it lasted all winter. And another thing, you can't always trust the parts store's parts testers. I said my Junkyard alternator was no good, but it worked perfectly fine. Just because it's from a junkyard doesn't mean it's junk. The alternator worked perfectly fine. And I'm sorry I forgot to film how I diagnosed the alternator on the Integra. Next time, if that ever happens again, I'll be sure to include that so that you guys can have a good idea of how to go about that. But basically, I just put a multimeter across the battery and onto the alternator as well. And I was seeing how much voltage was being put out when the car was running. And it was less than 12.6 volts, which is no good. Thankfully, this car has never given me an issue. This drivetrain is perfect. It doesn't even burn oil. And you are up next. I'm here with Cleveland at Shadow Circuit, you call it, right?
Yep, Shadow Circuit.
And we have Meihan Sportsland, Track C. Well, today we went to the store and we're gonna make another wall for the back.
Yep, the back wall.
They're trying to make this as scale as possible, and I think they're doing quite a great job already. Probably get some driving clips later, but we're gonna focus on building the actual track itself. We got Matt over there building the Meihan sign. We're also going to do some chassis work. For example, the rear springs on my car are a little too stiff. It looks soft, but when driving, it is stiff enough where it'll spin out instead of actually grabbing traction. So we ordered this little spring set that has different spring rates.
And we're probably going to do, it looks like we got some pink and green. We're going to put the pink and green up front to hopefully allow it to roll a little bit and get traction coming out of the corner.
So here's a comparison. This is before our adjustments. It's kind of hard to tell because the body hits the wheels.
Very stiff. It's very stiff.
It is very stiff. You can definitely tell a lot better with the body off, but man, we should have filmed it before we made those adjustments last week.
Everything was bound up, everything was rusted. It was just, the car was not happy. It was like it sat in a salt bath for 5 years.
Seriously, there was actual rust built up on the control arm. Actually, there's still some rust in there, but at least it moves now.
Oh my God. So to get the dampers out and change the springs, all you're gonna do is remove these two little ball ends.
I just flip it over.
Yep. Oh, it's really tight because we got a lot of preload on there. But the retainer cup should just drop right out.
Huh. Is that
Spring
easy?
comes off.
Come on. Oh, I wonder how these will feel. Let me try that one.
You're gonna immediately feel the difference. Those are extremely soft.
Oh my gosh, they're so much softer. You can even tell how thick these coils are. Wow, so we'll get more travel too out of this.
Hopefully.
Just like a real coilover.
So it's on the ground now, but we're gonna adjust the collars to add more preload to hopefully bring it up to about there. And then you'll have droop and compression. It'll be nice and springy.
It's so nice that these aren't seized. Like on a real car.
Yeah, when they get seized on a real car, it's no fun.
All right, we maxed these all the way down. but unfortunately still hits the ground. It stays up, but doesn't go back up. So we might have to go a spring tighter. Nice.
It's a lot stiffer. We might be able to get all of the preload out of it, and you'd still have good rebound and compression.
Nice. We didn't even make any adjustments yet. It's already looking better.
Feel it.
Oh yeah. You know it's good when you can lift up on it, right?
Right. So I think what we might have to do is go all the way to the innermost hole on the lower arm.
Okay.
To allow it to have more droop. Because right now it seems like it's pretty. It's trying to sit at its highest point.
Right. Okay. So just moving it into that inner control arm hole will help.
Yep. The innermost hole.
All right. Moved it into the farthest hole.
And we'll just have to add see that? It's got way
Oh
much
yeah.
We'll add a little bit of preload, and it should bring it up, and then you'll be nice and.
So you just spin these in real quick, right?
Yep. See?
Oh yeah, already.
There you go. That's way better.
Perfect.
Once you take off and you start driving, the car is actually it'll sit back, and then you get off of the throttle and it'll sit down on itself.
Oh, I can't wait.
We're gonna take a little bit out of there, and then we should be good to give it some testing. So like just with same thing with the front.
Oh, I see.
You see how it got softer?
Yeah. So we might not need to switch out the rear springs. The best way to know is test drive. Alright, well, transmitter on, car on, body on. Test drive. What do you think?
Way better.
It looked way more controlled out there too. Very happy with the results. Drives way better, but now we're gonna do some track maintenance. This is the wall that we're working on today, this back wall here. We also need to repaint this front wall to match. And the sign actually goes across from the building to this middle median here. I'll include a few pictures of this track for reference, but I need to go to the work truck outside and grab some tools. Every tool that you need. I'm sure you guys noticed some of these checkered, striped curbs down here. These are actually real concrete. And Cleveland's laying in another one here. So what's your method of madness here?
Basically, get it so that it gets kind of firm, not wet. Try to get it right to the edge. And then smooth it out.
And he has this tape backing so it doesn't go onto the grass, and also over the floor so you can just peel it up. It's not just actually being concreted to the ground. And after some driving, it looks very realistic. Super cool. And these curbs are exact scale and exact locations to the real track. They use Google Maps, right?
Yep.
So these are in the correct locations as it would be on the real track. So cool. And in case I didn't mention before, this is a rep of a track that's in Japan. It's called Meihan Sportsland. Getting that realistic touch. Dang. Well, we gotta let this paint dry for our walls, and then, well, that curb's done. But that one needs to dry, and those need to dry, so till next time.